Hey, I'm Alexi Lalas from the U.S. soccer team. Be sure to fill up with high-quality BP Super 93 and pick up the BP Super Soccer Ball for just $5.99. It's available only at BP stations with an 8-gallon purchase of high-octane BP Super 93, the official gasoline of U.S. soccer. You get great gasoline, this great ball, plus you're helping support the U.S. soccer teams competing this summer. Get on the ball.
BP, we keep you moving.
Hello everybody, and thank you very much for your time today. And today I'm coming to you from Andrews, South Carolina. Yes. Alright guys, I am coming to you from an abandoned old school gas station here in Andrews, and I believe that this was last a BP before it closed. I assume it was another name before it was BP, and there is the Piggly Wiggly in Andrews behind the gas station. Also, when we opened up there, you saw a yellow sign for greenbacks, Greenbax. So I guess similar to S&H green stamps, there were greenbacks for Piggly Wiggly locations. And so if anybody knows anything about greenbacks, or if you or your parents or your grandparents or great-grandparents happen to have any greenbacks laying around their home, I am definitely very curious as to what people could buy with them. I really could not find that much information about greenbacks online. Everything pretty much pulled up regular green stamps. Even though that sign is busted, man, I would love to have that sign. That is actually the first greenback sign that I have ever spotted down here in South Carolina. Now, as we start to walk around the property, you're going to see that this was a beautiful gas station back in the day, right here on the corner near the library and I believe the police station here in Andrews. And my reason to visit here is that somebody actually from Sumter said, do not go to Andrews. It is bad. And so, of course, what do you think happened? I had to go to Andrews. So anyway, went out to Andrews, and I got to tell you, the town really wasn't that bad. It was not the worst town that I have visited so far in my travels in South Carolina. That distinction actually goes to Kingstree. And so I made another visit out to Kingstree a little bit after I visited here in Andrews. And guys, I got to tell you, Kingstree is a shockingly, unfortunately, very poor and very sad town. There are some good things about Kingstree, and we'll get to those in another video, but I had a really shocking time in Kingstree. There's just people walking around like zombies. There's people laying on the ground all over the place. It's really sad to see the situation. And for those of you that live in Kingstree, I certainly do not mean to put you down. All right, let's go ahead and get back here to the gas station in Andrews. So I think, from what I can gather, it kind of looks like maybe a tornado knocked this place over at some point. It looks like it's kind of demolished, but kind of not. There is some work that's been done in the back of the property that we'll see in a moment. But take a look at the old school glass that used to be in the front. And granted, this wasn't very, very old. This glass was probably maybe from the 80s or late 70s. Aluminum frame. I love those louver glass windows to let the air in. I actually grew up in a home that had those louvered glasses for the front and side doors of our home. There you see an old nice Coke machine. I believe Galaxy Games 843 should probably come out and pick that up. So Matt, get yourself to Andrews. Free Coke machine. There is one of the bathrooms. So tiny little bathroom. Obviously the ceiling's fallen in. And when I was going into this area, I was just listening to see if anybody was possibly in the bathroom, maybe sleeping or setting up shop or doing whatever. And here's a second bathroom, and it's just a mess in here. So really sad to see this. And I just stumbled across this gas station, by the way, as I was driving around Andrews. I really didn't find that much to film. There were some older properties. There are some properties that you can tell are really rotting away, but I really couldn't put a brand to a lot of the properties. So that's why I was like, well, you know what? It's time to head out of Andrews. But luckily I spotted the gas station. Now, one of the things that was very interesting in Andrews, and there wasn't enough video to do a full clip for YouTube on it, but there is a really cool Radio Shack plaza with a few stores in it, and it's got an old school Radio Shack Tandy logo sign that says Audio Video Center. So that's pretty cool. And the Radio Shack store actually is a pawn shop now in Andrews, and it has the largest Radio Shack sign that I have ever seen in my life. It is massively oversized for the building itself. And I'm not sure if that pawn shop actually is still a Radio Shack. So there we go with a aluminum boat. So for some of the swamps down here, some of the lakes, somebody must have had some fun time fishing in that boat back in the days. Now, as we start to make our way to the back of the property here, you're going to see where I'm tying this in as a BP, because you're going to spot that sign right there that does say BP gasoline, obviously. So nice big metal sign, nice angle iron sign. But it's on the ground rotting away. And another thing that I'm sure you noticed here in the shots, there is a lot of bottles that were just laying around all over the property. Some vintage Pepsi, Coca-Cola bottles, really strange. I'm not sure if maybe somebody had pulled the bottles out of the location and just put them on the ground, but definitely if you're into collecting bottles, really nice gull-wing light also. Spotted that a little bit earlier and zoomed in on it. So I assume there's probably some area back here, maybe where there were some pumps, or maybe they used to do repairs. But we're not going to leave just yet on the video, so definitely stay here, because I got one pump that's actually out on the corner of the property that I want to show you guys. Also, love that pigeonhole brickwork to allow air to go through, and also for security purposes to be able to see if anybody is hiding behind the bricks. But just in a moment here, we're going to take a look at that other pump before we leave. We're going to walk around the bricked area there for the breezeway and take a final look at the front of this BP. And then I want to show you this other final pump that's off to the corner in a moment. So must have been a very, very nice gas station back in the day. And there's one of the old light frames. So if anybody knows anything about the location, definitely please let me know. I'm very curious. Would love to know the history. Was this an Amoco? Was this some other brand that I'm unaware of? Was it a 76 back in the day? There it is. Beautiful, beautiful gas station, but unfortunately its days are gone. All right, so here is that gas pump that I was just mentioning to you guys. So off to the side here, I probably assume this was a diesel pump separate from the regular gas. But I always love seeing these pumps that have the stainless steel polished fronts on them. One, because the stainless steel doesn't rust, obviously, but the craftsmanship and the way that these pumps were made back in the day is just awesome. All right, guys, well, I'm going to leave you. I hope you enjoyed this time with me today in Andrews, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.